chill for a little bit, right?
Yeah. What are you giving me?
The camera.
Because it's just gonna be the me show today. Hello, I am recording, blah blah blah. I'm here to talk to you about blah blah blah. Oh, it's not straight, but neither am I, so. Oh, there's a red blinking light. What does that mean? Okay, Lucas, I'm gonna do a cool thing where I'm like magically in the chair. So make that happen, please. Alright, so we are back, and like I mentioned earlier, Lucas is a little bit sick, so you guys have to hang out with me today. Oh wait, I didn't even press record. Let's start that one more time. Should I do the whoa again? Fuck! Okay. Whoa! And we are back! So like I mentioned earlier in the video, Lucas is a little bit sick, so you guys are stuck with me today. But I did want to talk to you all about something that I felt was on my mind recently, especially coming after this really awesome trip that I had when I went to Colorado. I went to this trip, I was invited by people that I wasn't really close to, but we were all part of the same friend group and they really liked hanging out with me and stuff, so they decided to invite me to their birthday trip in Colorado. And obviously me being the yes sayer that I am, I said yes and I planned the trip and I got on board, you know. This trip ended up being one of the most amazing, beautiful, mesmerizing trips of my entire life. I really felt like I was at a point where I was fully present, you know, and I hadn't really felt that way before in my life. I feel like if I reflect back on my past experiences, I was always wanting more and I was always waiting for the next big thing, you know. I was never fully cemented in the present moment and appreciating the things that were right in front of me. So it was really beautiful to be able to be on this trip and to like finally look at myself and realize that I'm here in this moment with all these people, making connections, making close friendships, you know, and just experiencing life. And it was really beautiful. But it got me thinking, and this happened mainly when I was on the airport on the way back from Colorado to Miami. I was kind of in this like self-reflecting mood, and I was being really appreciative of the fact that I'm at this point right now where I'm traveling with friends, we're having a good time and we're together, you know. It got me thinking about just how grateful I am to be living the life that I'm living, and I really do feel like I'm at a moment where all the decisions and all the experiences that I've had up to this point have led me to this beautiful moment. Everything was a kind of a conglomeration of my past and my experiences. And it's really easy for me to kind of feel like it's always been this way, that I've always been this person that always says yes and is down for anything and lets life take her on these random journeys, you know? And it's easy for me to think that it's always been that way when actually it's quite the opposite. It hasn't always been that way. And actually many years ago, when I was just a wee teen, I was the complete opposite of the person who I am today. I was very socially awkward. I was so anxious. I had really bad anxiety about making friends, meeting new people. I could barely order stuff at the McDonald's cash register because I was just so scared of interacting with people. And I distinctly remember one party that I went to in high school where it was my first ever high school party that I was ever invited to. You know, it's kind of like the big leagues. You know, you come from middle school and everything is very childish, and then you're in high school and everything suddenly just weighs more and is just more intense, you know? So it was the first ever high school party that I was invited to, and I vividly remember literally throwing up at the thought of meeting new people because I was invited by a friend of a friend. So it wasn't even somebody that I knew closely. It was somebody that I had a very minimal connection to, right? So that meant that there was gonna be other people at this party that I had no clue who they were, and that scared the shit out of me. I ended up going to the party and I had a great time, and I think that was kind of the first instance of me doing something despite the fear and still going through with it and having it pay off immensely, you know, because ever since that party happened, I got to be close to the people that were at the party, and then I got to sit with them at lunch and I got to make a lot more closer connections and things like that. And it all started because I did something that I was scared to do. And I actually wanted to touch on this because if you guys have seen the last video where Lucas and I play We're Not Really Strangers, there's a section where we talk about what our biggest weakness is, right? And neither of us necessarily say a weakness, we kind of just say something that we would like to see the other person work on. And Lucas mentioned how I don't like to be alone, and that is something I could work on. And while that is very true, I think his version of being alone is a lot different from my interpretation of being alone. So I think he thinks that I need to work on just kind of like being physically alone, because I hate that. I don't really like being physically alone. I love hanging out with people. I just love being in that energy and being around people. So when I look back, I realize that historically I have made decisions that have valued my independence and have put me in a scary place where I might be alone, you know? I was the first person in my family to leave the state for college. And then when that didn't work out and I went out of state and I didn't like it there, I made a really scary decision to leave when I could have just stayed and said, you know what, I made the decision to go to a new state. I'm just gonna stay here. But no, I made a decision to leave, and that scared the shit out of me because I was going to another school that I didn't really know about, you know? Just things like that. I ended my first ever relationship that I really, really loved and appreciated because it came at a time where I did want to explore my independence and who I was as a person. And that was one of the hardest decisions that I ever had to make. Losing somebody romantically that you love and that is super valuable to you because you've decided to kind of explore the world on your own. That's very scary. Basically, I've just done a lot of things that I feel like are scary. I literally decided to not pursue the career that I got my entire degree in because I decided, you know what, that's not me. That's not who I am. That's not what I want to pursue. I want to do something else. I want to do something more creative. I studied speech pathology, for you guys, just for context. And it was an amazing field and I loved it, but it wasn't what I was passionate about and it wasn't what I saw myself doing. And all these decisions, all these big life decisions, I was scared and I went through the motions of going back and forth in my mind for months on end. And I decided to make the decision that was scary. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Friends, but there is a character that is very special to me and she's kind of like the main character of Friends. She has like the biggest arc and you kind of follow her story the most, and that's Rachel. And as you see throughout the show, she is consistently making decisions that scare her and that put her in a place of kind of like, I need to go and I need to do something that is right for me. You know, she starts working at the coffee shop, which she had never done before. She had never worked a day in her life, and she made the decision to get a job for herself and do things that were important for her independence. Then when the coffee shop whole gig wasn't working for her, she decided to quit. She had no other job opportunities or anything on the table, but she quit anyway because it didn't align with her values. And yeah, and she just was consistently making decisions and she was so inspiring to me. And I really do resonate with her journey a lot because I feel like life is about making those hard decisions and to bask in the fear and to let the fear guide you, not control you, but guide you to a place that you can be more aligned with the person that you want to be and the person that you truly are inside, you know? It has been a long journey, and I say journey because I'm being reflective, but I don't really think of life as a journey. I saw a TikTok recently where this guy talks about how we think of life as a journey. We're taught to think of life as a journey. He talks about how we get to one accomplishment and then we don't really take the time to celebrate these accomplishments and these moments that are so important in our lives, because once we get that accomplishment, we're already looking to the next one. You know, I'm working so hard to get this job, and then when I get this job, all I want to do is make more money from that job or get promoted or things like that. I work so hard to want to be in a relationship, and then I get into a relationship, and then there's only more that I want, and I want more and more and more, and I'm always, you know, we're taught to just always want more instead of kind of being in the moment and loving the experience that's in front of us in that moment, you know? You know, we're conditioned to think life is a journey when in reality, it's a dance. You don't go up to somebody and you're like, why are you dancing and like staying in the same place and like not going anywhere? It's because dancing is meant to not be a vessel for you to go somewhere. Dancing is supposed to be for enjoyment and for fun and just because you want to express yourself in that way, you know? I feel like life is the same way. You don't need to get somewhere to be happy. You just need to be in that moment and be grateful that you're even here. And I really do think that that is the more, not productive way of looking at life, but the more fun way of looking at life. Because what is life if it isn't fun? You know, if it isn't fun for you and fun for the people around you and you're not having a good time, then what's the point really, you know? So I really, really want to emphasize just kind of being present and being grateful, you know? And I definitely look back in my life and there was a point where I didn't love it. I did not love it, almost to the point where I didn't want to live in it anymore. I think now, and it's been almost 10 years, it's literally been 9 years. So that's almost a decade later where I have consistently made decisions. Well, not consistently, made decisions that scared me, but I've also made decisions that have hurt me and that have belittled me because maybe I didn't think I was good enough or I wasn't ready for this next step. And all of these decisions, all the great ones that pushed me forward and the bad ones that held me back, they were all valuable, all so valuable to the journey that is life and the dance that is life, you know? Like, you have to have these imperfect, bad, hard moments in life to fully appreciate the times in your life that make you smile and that make you remember and just think very warmly of them. You know, you have to have both. You can't consistently live your life in a good place because there's always going to be those little windfalls and there's always going to be those little obstacles that are in your way, because that is what makes life interesting and beautiful and lovely. And I think that's what life is worth living for, you know? Basically, my biggest takeaway from my trip to Colorado was that it takes time to be the person that you want to be, and you're not going to get there overnight. There are little decisions that you make here and there and everywhere, even subconsciously, that you're not even aware of, that point you to the direction that you need to be, you know? Life is just a big obstacle course and you have to navigate it in the way that fits for you. So I definitely think if you're out there and you're struggling with change or things are getting scary and you don't know what to do, I say make the decision despite the fear, because of the fear. Let the fear guide you headfirst into that direction. Be the person that you don't think that you are, and make those decisions. And if you feel stuck, just know that it's going to change. It's not gonna be like this forever, because there was a time when I was 14, when I was so anxious about going to class and meeting new people and just living my life in this secluded little circle, that I didn't think that that was ever going to change, and I thought that that was who I was. And it turns out a decade later, I'm kind of a whole 180, you know? I say yes to everything now. I'm excited by the unknown as opposed to being scared, you know? I'm appreciating the little moments as opposed to just overlooking them. I am at a place where I can sit back and be content, and that took so long, and I want you guys to know that it's coming for you too. If you feel like you are stuck and that things are not going to change, I can assure you that that is wrong, and that you are on the right path, and that you are going to do great things, you know? You just have to believe in yourself and believe in the journey and the dance that is life, and be there for those moments, you know? I wrote down a bunch of notes because I really wanted this to be something that had a clear statement in mind, and I didn't want to just ramble because I do be doing that. I ramble a lot. So yeah, I think if you are in those places where you feel alone or you feel like you can't get out of whatever it is that you're going through right now, just know that that's not true, and that you will get out of it, and that you will come out victorious in the end, you know? And that you deserve it. You deserve to feel victorious, and you deserve to feel all the love and the beauty and the wonder that this world has to offer you. There's so much out there, and you deserve all of it, all the good stuff. And you know what? All the bad stuff is just that vehicle to get you to where you need to be. And appreciate those bad moments too, you know? If you ever come across a time where you're like, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? How about you think, why not me? Why can't I go through this, you know? I am strong enough to go through this, and I can make it through. And I want you guys to have the confidence and the ability to be able to adapt to change and to love change, because change is the only thing that is guaranteed in life. There are two things that are guaranteed in life: change and death. So like, take take that as you will, you know? Like, be accepting of change and love that there are new chapters. And as good as a chapter can be for a certain period of time, it was great in that moment. And it doesn't need to be that way forever because there are more beautiful chapters ahead of you. I have been thinking about this a lot. It has been something that has been in my mind. And I think that putting it out there on the internet for you guys to see is something that will make you feel less alone and kind of give you hope that there is something better out there, you know? And it might not seem that way right now, but there's more. There's more ahead and you deserve all the good things. And I love you guys so much. So thank you for listening to my little ramble about change and about life. And I hope you guys take what I say and you put it to use in your own life and you accept the life that is coming for you, you know, because you deserve it. Yay! Love you guys so much.